everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. Hi, Wander.
Hey Lawrence, how are you, my friend?
I am doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good. Had a great busy day today. Kind of remind me of Frankie Beverly,
Mhm.
joy and pain, sunshine and rain. That's the way I felt. But overall, hey, I'm blessed. I'm here. And what about yourself?
You know what? I'm blessed as well too. Working on a few things on my end, starting to see some daylight. So very happy about that, and looking forward to what's gonna be right around the corner.
Oh, absolutely. It just felt so good being able to encourage people because I know I was in a situation where I needed to be encouraged. So it's just really nice as we were being blessed today, just encouraging people. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, well, I'm gonna go ahead and let you start off, Wander.
All right, man. Welcome to Thirsty Topics, everyone. I'm your host, Wanda P. And we have with also Lawrence Elrod here. Our first topic today, Lawrence, is really sad, and it kind of hits home. We want to talk about the body of a missing teen girl that was found in the Fox River here in Elgin, Illinois. That was according to the coroner. The body of a teen girl who went missing over the weekend was found in the Fox River in Elgin, Illinois on Sunday. The Kane County Coroner's Office announced on Monday. Elgin police on Friday responded to the 1200 block of Abbott Drive to report the missing person who was last seen walking in the area around 7 p.m. The search for the missing teen continued during the weekend before she was recovered on Sunday. Coroners identified the teen as 16-year-old Destiny Neal from Elgin. An autopsy was performed on Monday, and the officers said that the toxicology samples were collected and sent to a national forensic laboratory for extensive analysis. Her cause of death is pending the toxicology report. So the death still remains under investigation at this point in the Kane County Coroner's Office. And Lawrence, that just brings us to the point, man. Life is just too short. Life is too short, and when you think about uh, a young lady, the age, I mean, any of our children or grandchildren go out. It's 7 o'clock in the evening. I don't know the circumstances why she was walking alone at 7 o'clock. Not like it was dark because we're dealing with the summer, and it's just heartbreaking, and it brought tears to my eyes because I remember on my prayer call on last Wednesday, and I was reading the article where it showed about this young lady, just another life gone, another young life gone too soon. And my prayers goes out to that family, to anyone that was affected. I didn't know her, but I felt like I was affected because it just reminded me so much of this could have been one of our children. Being a former teacher, I have students her age. So it's just really sad not knowing where your child is. Could you imagine looking for your child? So I don't know the circumstances. Why 7 o'clock is when they were looking for her, or she was last seen. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's definitely sad, no question about it. And I think it kind of goes back to the same issues that keep coming up over and over again. And there's a lot of young girls, young women of color that go missing all the time.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, you never hear about them in the news.
No.
And don't get me wrong, you know, it is good when troubling situations like this, missing people, do get news coverage.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that, you know, people who look like me, it would be kind of nice if they got that same coverage and them same resources as well.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
and
know what
it'll go.
I
I'm
don't know what
sorry.
the
Yeah.
answer is to that, but it would be nice if those same resources were evenly distributed.
Yeah. Well, you hit on a point very well because when this was happening, it was just like somebody I knew. You know, she went to my grandson's school. And when I think about the coverage, and I was talking to someone else, I went out earlier that day and I was out talking to another lady. She was from California. She said, when I moved here, people were telling me, you be careful of Chicago, Chicago, but I'm in the suburb. But she said, but did you know also in Schaumburg, Lake of the Hills. I think I sent you something about Lake of the Hill. And there are other suburbia areas as well, Lawrence, that people have been found in these retention ponds. They have recovered bodies that they don't even talk about in Schaumburg. I Googled what she was saying. I didn't see as many as she said, but there certainly were bodies found in retention centers in the suburbia areas of Chicago. And you don't hear people talking about that. And, you know, is there so much violence going on? We don't know. Everything we talk about in this show, as we always say, has been alleged. So we don't know what happened to her. But, you know, it takes a village. It takes a village, man, for us, and not just when tragedy happens. It's we should come together all the time. That's what it's all about. Us coming together to find out what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Mhm.
You know,
You also have to share information too. I remember growing up, the neighborhood was a village. It really
yeah,
was.
yeah,
People looked out for each other. Now you don't have that anymore. Everyone's pretty much on their own. Everyone's trying to get as much as they can get for themselves. And the whole feel for the neighborhood is totally different than when we grew up. Totally different.
yeah. You know, but the thing about it, man, we better wake up. We talk about topics every week, and they all blend in, or they all parallel with each other sometimes. Because when we're looking at, like I said, the atmosphere that we're in, we had better wake up. Because even like in the churches, man, the churches, the community, everybody has a level of accountability, starting with the homes, you know, and some people are different for that. But you know, I can't. We you can never, I can never find the words when a child that should be looking to graduate, go to college, have a future, and they end up somewhere like a Fox River or in Tennessee, the Cumberland River. I'm going to get found in the Cumberland. But we just have to really be truly our brothers and sisters keeper and be neighbors to our neighbors. Like you said, there was a time if my neighbor called my mother and told her because she saw what we did down the streets, by the time we got home, not only was that neighbor able to scold us or rebuke us or discipline us, we're gonna get it when we get home. So the teachers, you know, I don't you know the paddling, all that's gone too, but even in the village of the teachers, everything has been just been taken away uh, from some of our leaders, and people just don't trust. They don't trust you in the church. They don't trust you in the church. Don't you touch my child. And unfortunately, we just saw on the news earlier tonight where a 6-year-old girl was thrown to the ground and groped from a man just walking by. He pretended that he was falling. And he grabbed onto her. He's in jail now. So yeah, so we're living in an atmosphere where it's just ugly. And I would love to hear because there was a lot of people that comment when I put that comment out. What are your thoughts about our teens and how vulnerable they are? What does the audience say? You know, we
That's true. That's true. And the other thing to consider too is even if you don't allow someone to discipline your child, because some people don't allow that, and I get that, I understand that, but we're at the point where an adult can't even say anything to a child without that child going off. Or, and this is even crazier, the child does something wrong in school and the teacher contacts the parent, which they're supposed to do, and tell them what their child did, and the parents are ready to fight the teacher. I mean, when did we get to that point?
right. You know, it was so funny. I was talking to one of the ladies in the cafeteria where I work, And we were just all sitting down talking, and we were talking about this topic, and then just talking about children, how nobody would. And she was a Caucasian lady, and she was saying that when she was younger, her son, all her kids are great. They're doing wonderful things in life. But as a little kid, she told the story of how this one little boy that her son was hanging out with, and the little boy had no training. And every time the little boy would do something, like I think he scratched up her brand new car. She bought a
Mm,
brand new car, and this kid scratched up her car. So, and this is like I said, she's in her 90s. So her kids are in their 50s and 60s. So she went and called the young man's mother. Oh, my son wouldn't do that. And he did something else to somebody else later on down the line. And several people saw it and went to the woman. Oh, my son wouldn't do that. And she slammed the door on him. So I said to myself, I wonder, your kids are grown. Where's that little boy today? Or where is he today? Did he repent? But yeah, so it's just really sad that we can't say anything to them. And one of the things I wanted to ask too, Lawrence, what can we do? Because people were asking, does Destiny Neal's family need anything? I can't even imagine because it was on my heart. So when I saw the reply, I said, I want to call. I want to get in contact with them, but I do have contact with one of the teachers at the school who was in her class. And I reached out to him. I got to see if he responded back. But what can we do to help that mother, man, or in any kind of way? We can't bring her back, of course, but can we support her by, sending a donation or sending food, whatever they need? We don't know what they need at this point. I can only imagine this vibrant young woman left out of her house and never returned. 16 years old.
I would say the easiest thing would be to contact the school because they're going to know any fundraisers or anything that they would need. And also,
Good
it's a
idea.
trusted source too, because unfortunately, there are people that take advantage of situations like this for their own good.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to make sure that you're not talking to any
Oh,
scammers.
right,
Like
right, right,
that.
right. I would go with the school. And that was a great idea because I did think about the teacher, but I would go through the school to see if it's something that we can do,
Mhm.
especially what I do with my community. And I didn't know the young lady, but wow, that's just really sad. It's really sad, brother.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I know we talked about the Knicks winning the championship, but the big headline right now is a Knicks fan. Her name is Angie Biez. She's going viral now. And the reason she's going viral is that she went and emptied a trash can. There was a trash can that was painted the Knicks colors in celebration of the team. So she dumped all the trash on the street and left with the trash can. They even showed her on the subway. Now, besides the obvious nasty and disgusting, I don't know why you would do that, uh, but there was also consequences for what she did. So Angie BS 40 was identified as the person seen dumping one of the special edition trash cans during the Knicks celebration parade in Manhattan. And this is according to the New York Post. The blue and orange bins were put out last week by the New York City Department of Sanitation to commemorate the Knicks' first NBA championship in more than 50 years. As a result of what she did, a spokesman for JP Morgan Chase told NBC News on Wednesday that Baez, formerly an executive director of community and industry engagement, no longer works for the company. The spokesperson would not comment on whether she left the company as a result of the video. So Baez did not immediately return a call or email requesting comment from NBC News. The Department of Sanitation confirmed that the trash can was returned to the city Wednesday morning. Now, there's a statement here from them that says, first, we would reiterate previous comments that dumping trash onto the street and stealing public property for your own personal use are both illegal, uh, antisocial behaviors, and not what New Yorkers do. The department said in a statement, on top of all that, doing both on camera is incredibly stupid. That's actually an understatement. But I know there
Yeah.
was a whole lot in there. What do you think about that one?
Man, you know what? What may have seemed funny, ha ha ha, turned into a whimsical kind of funny because that was really odd. That was an odd thing to do. Trash. New York already has a rep, so we don't need you on camera trying to be funny. And not to mention, cameras are everywhere. Big Brother's watching everywhere. Everybody has a camera. So that wasn't even worth it. And did you say she worked for J.P. Morgan?
She did work for.
So we all, just like even look with my tweet, we got to be so careful what we say and do in this public of cameras everywhere.
Mhm.
Somebody's always listening, always watching. And this is bigger than just stealing the trash can. It speaks to the times we're living in. As I just said, social media uh, has changed everything. So the things that we thought we can do and get away with, there's an old saying that you can poop on the side of the road. There's another word on the side of the road and blame on the dog. But now with cameras everywhere, you can't blame it on Spud. You can't blame it on Spot.
It's
Everybody
true.
has a camera. Did we freeze up here?
Actually, I can hear
Not
you.
again.
Your camera went out, but it'll
Oh
come
my
back in one
God.
second.
As I was saying before I got rudely interrupted, and we got good weather today. I don't know uh, why that went out. But as I was saying though, I think it's very unwise for someone who has so much to lose. You have to be careful of your actions.
Hmm.
We have to be very careful of our actions because the bigger you are. I was listening to an interview, a young lady, she's a star, and she talked about her personal life, and she go like she's swinging the bat both ways, right? And she went on a live and was talking about they both know about each other and she's trying to make up her mind. Then when they interviewed her and they were talking with her, she didn't realize I'm in the public like they're not. And what she did by opening up that her private life like that, I don't know if it broke up the relationship with one or the other, but the bottom line, we just have to be careful what we do in the public's eye, because that was, and it certainly wasn't worth you quitting your job or getting fired, whichever the two. Either way, it wasn't good.
Yeah. And the sad part about it, Wanda, is people get so excited and they want to do something crazy. They want to be on social media to kind of show stuff. Everything doesn't have to be on social media. Now,
Hmm.
granted, in what we do, social media is a part of what we do, but we're also mindful of what we put on there as well, too. We don't put
Oh
just
yes,
anything on there.
yeah.
And that's what people have to understand is, okay, you went viral, but was it worth it? And I guess here's another question I would love to find out from you, Wonder. Do you think that they they were a little bit too harsh in either letting her go or encouraging her to leave? Or do you think the punishment fits the crime of what she did?
Well, well, that depends because we know excitement, because you could, as the police say, there are other crimes that you can really be, make light of. But the thing about it, that's the chance you take. Were they too hard? That depends. You talking about JP? That's a reputable company, and somebody could really make a lot of noise about it. So I don't know how much flack she got in order for them to step in. So we don't even know about that either.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on my company, because I think about if I had a company, I don't know. I think she may have gotten what she deserved because if I had a company, my reputation means a lot to me. And you have to, and so she should have been thinking about that. Is your livelihood worth it? Was she drunk? I don't know. That's not you can't blame it on alcohol. So you can't, you know, really blame. and depending on this instances, but being that this was a reputable company, yeah, so they're looking at their name, yeah. And the thing about it, and like I said, she wasn't even thinking about her livelihood, and it goes deeper. It goes by integrity. So that's probably why the job did it. Your integrity. This speaks on your integrity.
That's true. And what's surprising to me is the type of position that he holds, that she holds within the company. I mean, it's a
Goes
very
back
important
to
position that she has. So I can see how the optics would be very unappealing. And we all know that once certain people get to a certain level in a company, they may not be fired, but what they may do is say, okay, here's your option. You can either leave or we can let you go.
but can you imagine your job and you went viral?
Hmm.
It's like my mother used to tell us when somebody got in trouble, nobody wanted to own up to it. Everybody got it right. Well, I'm gonna get the right person. So could you imagine the influence she would have on other employees to do something? Well, she did it and got away with it.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So yeah. So I think it goes back into her core tag, you're it. It goes back to if you're in a position like that and you shouldn't let alcohol or drugs take you to another world and do something and regret it. Because you think about people who commit crimes of passion or a temporary insanity, they don't let them necessarily get off.
Hmm.
You did something wrong. So she did something that warranted response, I would think. And then, like I say, with JP Morgan, is it JP Morgan she was working for? Yeah, you tamper with our name. So people take their name and their position seriously. And some people have probably gotten fired for something less than that.
That's true. And I'm a huge, huge Bears fans. When the Bears made it to the playoffs, I mean, I was screaming, I was swearing, I was having a great time in my house.
Right.
I wasn't outside, screaming and yelling and cursing because, obviously I can't do that outside. Not in my
Right.
house, totally different thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's a great point as far as being aware of your surroundings and where you're at.
Mhm.
Because there's certain things that you can't do outside your home that you can do in your home because
Mhm.
there are real consequences to those actions.
Yes.
I remember, I want to say, oh, it was Ice T. He was on The View. And this was shortly after the slapping incident that took place between Chris Rock and Will
Will
Smith.
Smith. Mhm.
And what Ice T said, when we're in this entertainment game, we have to be careful what we do and say. I could be sitting here right now. I could take my keys and I throw them across the room. That could potentially end my career, just that one little act right there. So
Well,
we have to pay attention to what we do at all times and be aware of what we're doing and how we're doing it. And I thought that that was so perfectly said because that is 100% true. Even if you're not in entertainment, as you see with this woman here, again, things you do out in public have consequences, good or bad.
good or bad. I tell you what, so yeah, it's unfortunately that she lost her job, and like I say, when you think about your livelihood and all that, just rejoice. Why can't you just be happy, go out and have a drink, hey, shake your pom poms, and just be it. But again, as I started off, it's the environment that we're in, man. Everybody's got a camera. Everybody feels like they can do some
Mhm.
things, and they're invincible. And you see that you're not. So hopefully, if nothing else, other employees at that place are thinking about their actions out in the public. If not, they should be.
Absolutely. I don't think anyone that works with JP Morgan Chase is not going to be doing anything like that anytime soon.
Nah, no, yeah, because that's a serious business, man. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I want to take some time here to give my condolences and also condolences from Thirsty Topics. podcast to the family and friends of music mogul Clive Davis, who passed away.
Hmm.
So, legendary music executive and producer Clive Davis passed away on Monday, June 22nd, 2026, at the age of 94. His family and publicists confirmed that he died peacefully at his Manhattan home following a brief hospitalization for upper respiratory problems earlier in the month. Now, I'm quite sure most people know who he is, but just to kind of touch on some of the things about him, he was a record label type.
Hmm.
After rising to the top of Columbia Records, he went on to found Artist Artisto
Arista.
Records
Mhm.
and J Records, leaving an indelible mark across pop, rock, R&B, and hip hop. He was also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2000.
Okay. Well, yes, and you know, everybody knows he um, gave Whitney Houston her fair share, her chance, and Alicia Keys, and just so many artists, Aretha Franklin, Janis Joplin, Barry Manilow, you know, Carlos Santana,
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Springsteen. I didn't even realize so many people in that arena that he gave that opportunity to be on a national platform. And following the announcement, uh, a lot of people poured out tributes to that. And then you also got your naysayers, the naysayers. Uh, some of the dark and Hollywood. I think we would probably talk about that, and I'll probably leave it for there because my respect also goes for the dead. But there's a lot of other things that's happening in Hollywood that's not so bright. But he did some wonderful, wonderful things, and we will hear more about that. A Grammy Award winner, man, just you name it. And even one of the other areas that, like I say, people don't really realize with P. Diddy. I think that P. Diddy got his start up under Clive Davis, you know. So yeah, it's just a lot. He touched a lot of people's lives.
Oh yeah, just giving a very brief, because he worked
Mhm.
with so many people. Some of the ones that you mentioned: Bruce Springsteen,
Mhm.
Aerosmith, Billy Joel, Chicago, Earth, Wind and Fire, Whitney Houston, Barry Manilow, Aretha Franklin, Dionne Warwick, Alicia Keys, Kelly Clarkson, Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah,
And again, this is literally just a handful. This isn't
yeah,
anywhere close to everyone. But this kind of tells you the power and influence and the keen eye to find talent that most people in his position don't have.
yeah,
And I have not personally heard of anything negative about him over the years. Now, I'm not saying this it is or isn't out there. That's just me personally, so I don't know. But
yeah.
I do like the fact that he's helped a lot of people either start or revive their careers, and he's
Mhm.
very well respected in the record community.
Yeah. And you know one of the things that I can say is that, again how he touched so many people's lives. He was, oh my God, like I said, when you think about the record labels and some of the negative things that people have said about record labels and all that, he has given, especially a lot of the African American people that we know of that have really hit the charts. And I just can't get past Whitney was one of the biggest stars.
Mhm.
She was one of the biggest stars that he uh, uh, touched her life. You know, when you think about that. But I'm like I said, I'm saddened by it. I pray for that family and just wish them well as they move on with services and things of that nature.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see with everything going on in the record industry right now, between P Diddy going to jail, Clyde Davis passing away. There's a lot of things going on right now, so it'll be interesting to see what the new Titans look like on the way up. Who's going to be the next person that's going to be that go-to person that can really spot talent and really help people jumpstart their careers.
Yeah. And my thing is in that, because you have to understand, people will sell their souls to become famous or rich. Because I even listen to some of the like American Idol or what's the other one, The Voice, and you hear some of the backstories of some of these singers, and every now and then you hear one, oh, I was on drugs and I did this, I turned my life around, and they can sing, right? But don't you know that once you get into that Hollywood life, if you have those issues, if you're not grounded, it would take you to the dark side real quick. The fame is there, but you have to be very careful with that. But again, no, uh, have faith when you go into this business, and don't sell your soul, because this is what I'm sure we're going to talk about this on Thirsty Topics, because it's a lot of darkness in Hollywood in
Well,
that arena. Oh yeah, oh yeah, allegedly,
that's true. We got to make sure we say that.
allegedly, yeah.
Well, now everyone is really excited about the World Cup. In fact, I have never seen people this excited before. It's actually
Yeah.
pretty nice to see. But there is a issue with a lot of people that's coming here from overseas. So, World Cup fans visiting from overseas are frequently failing to tip U.S. hospitality workers, prompting restaurants in host cities, including New York, Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Kansas City, to automatically add 20% gratuity to bills. So, what a lot of people don't understand that there's a different mentality overseas than it is here when it comes to tipping. So, in Europe, Asia, and international destinations, workers are paid a standard livable wage. Okay, let me repeat that for the people in the back here. In Europe, Asia, and other international destinations, workers are paid a standard livable wage, and tipping is either non existent or amounts to rounding up change for exceptional service. Now, a lot of the people coming here from overseas don't understand that, and I really don't even know why this is a thing. Waiters don't get minimum wage. They actually get paid less than minimum wage. I
Less
don't
than
even know
minimum.
how that's legal, but whatever.
Right.
We'll talk about it on another show. But
Yeah.
they make their money from tips. So there's to me, there's a cultural type clash going on there. What do you think about that, Wander?
Well, I think it is. And being a server or waitress puts me in mind of being a caregiver, which is a thankless job. And I can remember when my son, in his many jobs that he had, and he was working at Old Charlie's in Brentwood in Nashville, right? In Tennessee, right outside Nashville. And rich, I mean, a lot of people live, I think Tony Braxton has a house in Brentwood out there. So it's a high end suburban area. And this one waitress told my son they saw about 10 black people coming in. They went over to my son. He was at a table. Oh, can you take the table over there? Because that's the same. They say that about black people don't like the tip. Yeah, that's the thing. They said black people don't like the tip. So it's a thankless job, and I hate that people would category put you in a category like that. But as you just said, we have to understand that they don't get paid. You know, they get paid under minimum. I think they may have changed the law with that now, with I think the tips are included in some meals, and some people don't like that either. But you have to think about they're bringing your food, because I don't want anybody bringing my food, and I made them mad, and I'm pissed. I got friends. That's right. Look, that you talking about my food is fine, even if it's not. Not, I wouldn't say necessary if it's not, because if it's not, I gotta send it back. But I'm not the one that's gonna complain too bad about my food. And if I am, I'm gonna be nice about it. But I was with a group of ladies and they were not nice. And they're, people do stuff to your food.
Yeah, I worked at a Sizzler years ago. I can't tell you the stuff that I've seen, but I always say to people, get your food first, then you complain. Because I've
Yeah.
seen some stuff, and yes, they will do something to your food.
They
They
would,
will say
yeah.
they don't, but yeah, they will.
See, I love coleslaw. I love
Mhm.
coleslaw. And we were in a area, a friend was purchasing a truck in some part near Memphis down there. So we stopped. I love KFC, so shout out to KFC. So I went went to KFC. Nobody's in line. I don't know what took so long, but I was with an impatient driver, and they go up. What the blank blah 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 curse words all the. I wanted to shrink in the car, so they gave the food. So I'm reluctant, like I said. Well, I opened up my coleslaw, and it was slimy. It was slimy. I said, I will get, next time I'm riding with you, I will go in and get my food. I don't like to drive through anyway because something there was a video that went out when they purposely mess your food up. You go through a drive through and they go when you driving off. It was a funny video. So no, I don't like going to drive throughs anyway. But no, don't mess with my food. Pay the waitress, give them their tip. That was wrong that they didn't pay these people their tips.
And I don't think it was malice. I think it's really just cultural thing.
Okay, okay,
So I know
not
that
over here.
that's a different situation. But what uh, what restaurants are doing now, like I touched on before, countless bars and restaurants and host hubs are preemptively adding mandatory 20% service charges to all bills to protect their staff's take-home pay.
Mhm.
Also, many of them putting out signage saying that many venues place clear warnings on tables, menus, and at the register, explaining that gratuity is customary in the US and is crucial for paying local workers. Also, what they're doing is they're educating the managers and the staff. So, managers and owners are actively training their wait staff to explain the American tipping system to confuse foreigners without making them feel unwelcome. I think that's a great way to approach it
Yes,
because I really do believe. Now, don't get me wrong, they are a-holes everywhere, all over the world. But
sure.
I do think that most people that come from these countries that don't have this issue don't understand how we do things, and somebody just needs to explain it to them.
Yeah. But you know what? This story also expresses something deeper in America. Why do we have a system where so many workers depend on the kindness of a stranger
True,
just to make a living? Why don't they just pay the people? And
true.
if somebody feel like they want to tip, they can tip. I'll tell you another one that right here in America. You go to the airport and I don't want to be dragging my luggage all throughout the place. If I can put my luggage, what do you call it, when you first get out your car? You could do a check-in right outside
Okay,
before
yeah.
you go inside. Tip the people. They're
Mhm.
taking your heavy bags. I just don't know. Yeah. It's just bad. So the airport, they don't get a lot of tip. And I tell you another one, I go, and I think this guy just totally tripped. My tire was low on my car.
Mm.
So I went to the place they check your tires for free.
Okay, yeah.
I pay the guys. I tip them. The guy looked at me like what? I gave him $5. I could have gave him a couple of dollars, but I gave him $5. Young man. So yeah, I'm a big tipper. I am. I'm big on tipping because I was a waitress, so I've been in that situation in my many jobs I've worked on. So I'm a big tipper. I like to help people.
Thank you. I appreciate that because my wife gets on me because she thinks I overtip too. So
Oh, do you? No, no. Because you guess what? You'll get that money back in a heartbeat. You get that blessing back. And you just don't know how you probably gave somebody gas money. You
well,
know,
being I was in sales for so many years, I understand
Mhm.
how hard it is to work, how
Yeah.
to make ends meet, pay your bills. And many years ago, when I was a young teenager,
Hmm.
young adult, I worked at McDonald's. I worked
Yeah.
Sizzlers.
Yeah.
I've worked those different places,
Yeah.
and I understand how it works and how hard it is to try and make ends meet when you work a minimum wage. I understand that very, very well.
And they work like dogs. They
Yes,
they work very hard. Oh my God, I've done the menial jobs. Oh no, I'm working smart, not hard now. But I could just remember doing that. But like I say, it goes beyond just what happened overseas there, but it also happens. We need to be more mindful of the people that are giving us service. Man, tip them,
that
and you
is
get
so
better
true.
service.
Well, the other thing too, I don't think it'll happen anytime soon, but I do love the model that they have overseas. Why not just give them a livable wage? And if they do exceptional service, then it's up to the customer whether or not I want to tip, but they're not dependent on the tips anymore. I would love
Yeah.
to see that. Don't know if it happened, but I would love to see that.
And I tell you something, we went to Jamaica and it was all inclusive, right? We were at the
Mhm.
bar drinking, and it was like just keep dollars. They were this one bartender. He was jumping up and down. You gave him that $1 tip, and you got a much better drink. So if you're nice, it's just nice to be nice, you know.
But I agree. What
Yeah,
you give out, you do get back. So I definitely agree with
absolutely,
it 100%.
absolutely, brother, absolutely.
Well, we are going to end our segment with this topic. And of course, people are talking about this as well. The rumors seem to be true that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are getting married at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
based on multiple sources, the events are scheduled to kick off July 2nd and continue through July 3rd. Sources report a smaller, intimate gathering of about 100 people on July 2nd, followed by a massive, splashy celebration with roughly 1,000 guests on July 3rd. Now, permits applications have been filed with New York City to close streets surrounding the venue from July 2nd to midday July 4th. Insiders point to the arena's secluded underground access and lack of windows as the perfect way for the high profile couple to ensure privacy. What do you think about
Okay.
that, Wander?
Well, in this, we're living in a age of speculation and obsession with celebrities, right? And so, even though the article doesn't say, for sure, but they speculate that it is, what stands out to me is how society has become so invested in the personal lives of celebrities that rumors can become headlines before facts are even established. You know, and it makes you think: how often do does that happen in everyday life? We hear something, assume it's true, and then we run with it. Now, if it's true, congratulations to both of them, because marriage is beautiful, and that sounds like hey, whoever was the lucky ones to get inside that Madison Square Garden. That's an awesome thing to do. I'm happy for both of them, and they're celebrities, right? So they're mega celebrities, both of them. So they're a power couple. So yeah, so people are gonna talk about every little thing that they do. So I think it's a great thing if it's in fact the truth. And you talked about 2 days. A friend of mine, well, I won't call her name out, but she had a 3 day wedding. A 3 day wedding. I said, I know it wasn't no honeymoon because I was tired. She just started laughing. I was tired. But she gave me hope because she was an older lady when she got married. She was in her 60s. No, she was 70, 75. She was 75 when she got married. Cream dress, had the church wedding, everything. And she's a Delta, so they had like a 3 day wedding. So it was like really, it was a lot of people. And she was not a celebrity, but she's a celebrity to us. and she knew a lot of people, so she ended up with a 3 day wedding. So yeah, so if she can do, I mean, and if you have the money to do something like that, why not go all out? Because at 75, she gave me hope. Like, whoa, if you can do it, that means there's still hope for me. Because I thought it was too late for me, you know?
I don't think it's ever too late, Wonder.
Yeah,
I think that a lot of people are really interested in this story for a number of reasons. One, because of the obvious Swifties. There's a lot of Swifties out
yeah,
there that love Taylor Swift. But also, with all the craziness that's going on in the world, all the negative stuff that you see on the news every day, different reports of stuff going on, I think people are really trying to grasp something positive, something to smile
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Because you can't watch bad news all day long because it will take a toll on you.
It will.
Me personally, I love coming home and watching something funny. I like to smile
Yes,
every day. I want to laugh every day.
yes, yes.
One of my shows that I love watching, I haven't watched it in a while. I love watching The King of Queens. I've
Okay.
probably seen every episode probably 10 times, but I still like watching it. I
Yeah.
like watching the original Kings of Comedy when it comes on. Again,
Okay.
another show I've seen many times, but it makes me laugh, it makes me smile. And you need that
Yeah.
because life is so serious with everything going on. You need something to
Lighten the
decompress
load.
and just laugh and just relax. Because I don't think that as Americans we don't do enough of that. We need to
Mhm.
relax sometimes and just enjoy the moment.
And Lawrence, you just said a mouthful because that's laughter is life,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes more to put a frown on your face than it is to smile because it should just happen automatically. And I love comedy. I love cussing comedy. I love it all.
Mm-hmm.
I love to laugh, like you said, because we're in such a dark time of our life and you don't want to look at, and that's what some people want. They want to weigh you down so that you will be tired. I just told you I had a day, man, remind me of sunshine and rain because I have to stay positive. I get bad news. I even had a dream last night, and the dream was interpreted, and I'll go deeper into it. But it was a cartoon mouse. It was like a animated mouse. I was coming back into this place. I guess it was my house. I was coming back into this place, and it was this animal with these big old ears. I want to say like Mighty Mouse, but it was like big old ears. And it came out and looked at me. I'm like, "You're not even real." And then there was a snake, something that it was slurving. It looked like a snake. But what I did, I took the door, a door appeared, and I slammed it and cut it in half. Then I woke up. So when I interpreted, it was telling me it was the mouse because the interpretation of the dream because the mouse appeared in your dream as animated, it's not like it was harmful, but it is some type of something to get your attention. Pay attention to the people in your life. Now, so I'm gonna go back and go deep into it because this has been a real busy day, and I just want to go back on it and now, since the day is gone, and just revisit that interpretation of what that dream was about. And it was just funny. And today, so as I can even go back today, just like I said, the sunshine and rain situation that was happening, the negativity, there was so much good happening today. But I was still finding myself thinking, God, I had the energy to be able to help somebody, to encourage somebody, a couple of people who really needed to be encouraged today because they were at their wits' end. And I can remember being like that. So it's kind of nice just being able to laugh. Like I say, I tell you what, what's his name? He was a comedian. Oh my God. Earthquake. No, it wasn't
Yes.
Earthquake. It wasn't Earthquake. It was one of the guys that was with him. Bruce. Oh
Bruce,
my
Bruce.
God. He came out the gate. I was in Nashville and I was in the balcony. Man, he came out the gate and he didn't even stop laughing. And so I was hanging over the balcony. I said, wait a minute. He said, I'm gonna let some of y'all catch your breath. I said, please. Because he came out the gate just laughing. So it's just nice to be able to laugh, forget about your troubles. That's why I watch some satire movies and stuff to get my mind away from the news. But I gotta know what's going on. I
Mm-hmm.
gotta know what's going on. But I have to be able to know that balance, man, and be able to laugh.
That
Or
is so
see, or talk about Taylor Swift or some of our favorite artists or celebrities that are doing some great things or maybe some funny things. So yeah, it's kind of nice to know the world is still moving in 2026.
That is so true, so true.
Yeah.
Now, there was some people saying that, well, Taylor Swift could be doing this to throw people off from where it's supposed to be. I truly believe, just my opinion, that it's probably going to be at Madison Square Garden because permits are not free. So to get a permit to close off the venue around it, I think they're probably going to have it there.
Well, when you said that, it just kind of make me wonder, being a celebrity like she is, and the atmosphere of people that don't like her because of her outspokenness about
Mhm.
issues that's going on in the world, you do have to be careful. So, you know, you do have to be careful. So it would be a ha psych you because all the bombers are over here thinking they're gonna mess up my wedding and the wedding I got married. I was married now. So that could be something to think about too.
That's true. It's a
Yeah.
shame that they have to even think about that.
It is.
But I remember when she was doing her world tour and she had one concert that was canceled because of threats to blow up bombs and stuff like that at one of her concerts.
Mhm, mhm.
I don't remember what country it was, but it was a big deal because she had to cancel the concert because of the concerns. I just don't understand why people just go crazy and just do stupid stuff. Yes, she's a big star. Yes, a lot of people love her, a lot of people follow her. But when it's all said and done, she's still a human being.
Yeah, but and I definitely want to hit on this maybe next week. Mental illness is real.
Hmm.
Mental illness is real. And all somebody has to do is want to take one for the team.
Hmm.
So yeah. So I'm happy for her. The bottom line, I wish them well wherever they decide to get married to. But I just wouldn't be surprised if if it is in another place and not uh, at Madison Square Garden. It would be nice. Or they got enough money to pay for security. Get a plane, fly them out of there. Don't they have a helipad or something like that?
Yeah, I know she has a private plane, and if there's not a helipad near the stadium, it's probably one close by.
Okay. Yeah, just to get them out of there or whatever. But like I said, I just wish them well. I don't wish ill will on anybody. Everybody has an opinion, and we should
Hmm.
be able to say that. And I would really be so grateful when we get back to that stage in life and time. And like I said, I was talking to some people. I went to a play last night, and they were like, when they saw the Obama library and all the things, these people, they were crying. They said, I remember when life was simple and everybody got, even when you disagreed, it wasn't to the point that you were trying to kill somebody or you just liked them. You had so much disdain for them that you wished them a hard, ill will or anything like that. So it was just kind of nice. It would be nice for us to be able to get back to that. But I know a lot has to happen between now and that time, and I'm sure we'll be reaching for that because we're headed to the 4th of July, and we just have to be careful. We
Yeah,
definitely have to be careful.
I believe we will get to that point. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong, but I think at some point we will get there because we can't keep going the way we're going now. This is just not sustainable.
It's really not. But I like I said, and like I said, having the good news about Taylor Swift and just some good news this weekend because this is the 4th of July weekend, isn't it? I guess we shouldn't give dates.
Actually, not this weekend. It's
Boy,
4th of July weekend is next weekend.
okay, this it's been tick tock. This month has really been going by, even though it's going by fast. Because we're in the fourth week, third week. I don't
Hmm.
know. Man, I'm moving so fast. Sometimes I'm kind of like my client. What I said, what I asked him something. I don't know. I said, if you don't know, if I don't know you, I'm in trouble right here. And we'll laugh things off like that. So I love working with my elderly people. I do have fun with that. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm excited about where we're headed. Trajectory. Even though the negativity is there, we just have to stay strong, and there is sunshine in spite of the rain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching us. We really appreciate your support. I'm Lawrence Elrod.
And I'm Wander P.
Bye, everyone.